What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining another fly tying video today. Let's go ahead and talk about the pattern we've got for you today. We are tying a midge. This is a variation to Pat Dorsey's Top Secret midge. It's pretty similar. I've added a few different materials to this one. As you can see, it obviously has a bead here, which the original Top Secret midge does not have a bead. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into this one. This is a really quick tie. This fly just straight catches fish. It's a really awesome pattern. It's really quick, really easy, like I said. And yeah, so I'm just going to give you my variation. I obviously put a bead on this one. I like it because it gets down a little bit quicker if you're fishing a little bit faster water. So for the hook today, we've just got a Daiichi 1120. This is here's the Daiichi hooks. This is a size 18. Typically I'll fish these in 20s to 22. 18's a little big, but it's easier to see here on the video, so that's why I'm doing an 18. And then we've got a 2.4 millimeter tungsten bead, and the color is just black. So let's just go ahead and get this one started. We've just got some UTC thread. This is in gray/brown. That's the color of this thread. So it's a really lighter color. It's not quite white. It's just a little shade darker than white, but it's a really nice color for this midge, and it's my favorite. It's my go-to. So again, let's just get this one started. This is super simple. You can crack these flies out. You can crack a lot of these flies out in a short amount of time. So just go ahead and lay a base of thread right behind the bead. This is going to give us a little bit of a taper. The easiest way to thread the body of your fly is to flatten out the thread first. And to do that, just spin it to your left hand. That'll flatten it out, and this UTC thread really flattens out nicely. So once we have a nice little bulbous thorax here at right behind the bead, we're just going to take wraps, touching wraps, down the shank and into the bend. And then we're going to work our way back up to that thorax area. Once we get up to here, we're going to do one more time back down. Make sure touching wraps all the way down. Now from here we can just hang our thread down, and we're going to do our ribbing. So for ribbing, we're just going to actually use a black Sharpie. This is the super permanent ink. This stuff really holds tight to the thread. So we're just going to color our thread, and that's why I like a lighter colored thread for this, because you can color it red or black or whatever you prefer. So just go ahead and color about an inch length of thread, and make sure that thread is flat. And now we're just going to go ahead and rib this fly. Nice even spaces coming up the body here, all the way up to behind the bead. Looks good. Now we can lay a little more thread right behind the bead. Now we're going to put in a little wing material here, and for that I'm just using some Zelon or EP fibers. Work great. Just some little EP fibers here. I just like to grab a little strand if I have some here. Here we go. Okay, like that. That's what they look like. So you don't want it too thick. So this is the width of one strand. So I just like to split this in half. So go ahead, split it in half, and then you can also cut it in half too. This is the length of the piece that I have. So go ahead and tie this in right behind the bead there. Do a pinch wrap, a few securing wraps. Now come in here with your pointiest scissors you have. Cut it as close as you can to that bead, like so. Take some more securing wraps. And now for the thorax right behind the bead, I'm just using some UV tan ice dub from Hairline. If you can see it, this is it right here. You really don't need a lot. I mean, maybe like 5 or 6 little hairs like this. If you can see that, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually dubs really thin onto the thread, which is what we want. We want a super thin noodle on our thread. Once we get that noodle, we can go ahead, form a little thorax right behind the bead here. Once we have a nice little thorax there, you can go ahead and whip finish. If I can get a hold of my whip finish here. Jeez, promise this isn't my first time. Okay, there we go. Throw in a few whip finishes there. You can snip the thread right up close. And after that, we're going to come in here and snip the wing. This is really preference. Obviously, you don't want it super long. You want it visible, but you don't want it too short. That's probably perfect right there. You can see it just enough coming out of the back of the thorax there. And there you go. There's a variation to Pat Dorsey's Top Secret Midge. Go ahead and give this one a try. You can play with the colors, obviously. Switch it up, but I really do like throwing a bead on there. It really helps it sink down and get down in the water column. So yeah, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to my channel, comment if you have anything. I'd love to hear it. I'd respond, and yeah, we'll see you next time.